I almost blew my television career before it started. The first show I did was for a thing called educational TV. This is a hybrid that's really a kind of oxymoron that makes as much sense as Happy Marriage, Catholic University, Liquor Control Board, or military intelligence. Two entirely different cultures, television and education, trying to work together. That lasted a few months. Then I worked for a while for the Canadian Broadcasting Castration, which I always used to say was the post office doing television. They did a lot of hockey. They had a couple of original programs and hours of total drivel. Then for a while, I was just doing little inserts on a local variety television sort of current affairs show. And it paid a couple of bucks. It wasn't much of a career, really. And one day, the vice president called me and asked me to come in and see him. And he was known to be peculiar in the extreme, a sociopath, charming, completely interested only in his own agenda, of course, never listened to anybody. And he invited me into the boardroom, and he began with this whole thing about how I was part of the family, which sounded to me like a sort of mafiosa assassination, like, really? You're part of the family, Bruno Garrot, right? Okay. So then he goes into his main pitch, which is, David, what do you think about the weather? And I said, the weather? And I looked out the windows onto the street, and I said, the weather? I don't know. I never think about the weather. No. He says, I mean, what do you think about the weather? I said, I heard you. I just don't understand. The weather? I look outside. If it's snowing, I put on galoshes. If it's raining, I put on a raincoat. I mean, I don't get it. He says, no, you're not getting me. We think you would be great doing the weather. And I said, you want me to do the weather on television? And he said, yeah. And being the gracious, kind, reasonable person that I am, I said, fuck off. So that was the end of that. Pickle. Burning bridges is really the prerogative of youth. Some of us take a long time to grow up and acquire a touch of grace.